Hey everyone, thank you for joining. Here is another video. So in this video, we're going to write some JavaScript. We're going to work with the ribbon workbench, and we're also going to work with the business process flow for the opportunity. The idea here is to create some custom logic to hide the closes one button on the opportunity until a certain field has a certain value. So the idea here is we have an opportunity and there's this field called confirm decision date. And confirm decision date, if it's blank, then we're not going to show this closes one button. But if it has a value, then we will show the closes one button and allow the user to click the button and close the opportunity as one as needed, and so on. And this functionality, as you can imagine, can be applied among a variety of different use cases. The sky's the limit. It just depends on how much you want to restrict your users as to when they can actually truly close an opportunity as one, right? So with that being said, what I'm going to show you here is I've installed the Ribbon Workbench from Develop One Limited. They have all the rights to their managed solution that I've installed here. It's a great solution. I love it. Used it for many years. They also have a smart button solution that I'll be showing you in some other videos. So the other thing I've done here is I've created a solution for the opportunity ribbon. All this solution has literally is the metadata slash XML of the opportunity entity. So I want you to see real quick that at the solution level, I don't have any forms, I don't have any views, I don't have any relationships, I don't have anything in here except for the metadata of the opportunity. And that's what the Ribbon Workbench wants. The Ribbon Workbench does not take solutions that have components inside of it. It takes solutions that have XML inside of them, and that's how the ribbon works. So first things first, let's go ahead and write some code. So we're going to create a pretty simple function here. And our function is the logic behind, okay, how do we show and hide this close as one button, right? So we'll call this function close as one hide. And then inside the first parameter, we're going to pass something called the primary control. The primary control is going to be very important. That comes from the actual ribbon button itself and is essentially the same exact thing as what we all know as execution context. Okay. So now the next thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and do a try catch. And then in our try block, what we'll do is we'll drop a debugger in here. I always like to put a debugger whenever I'm doing any client-side scripting. And then let's initialize a var here for form context. Just to make it a little more user-friendly, we'll make form context equal to primary control. That way we can use form context in whatever way we want. And then we're going to have a variable for the whether show closes one is either true or false, right? So is it visible or is it not visible, right? That's the goal here. Are we supposed to return a value that it's visible, or are we supposed to return a value that it's not visible? And that's the whole concept behind this function. But it's still a very simple function. So we'll call this variable is show closed as one, and we'll automatically set this to equal to false. Okay. We'll also create a variable for that field that I showed you called final decision date, which is just a date parameter. And let's make sure we use camel case, please, Alex. And then now I'm going to use form context, get attribute, and the attribute name is final decision date, get value, and we're good there, right? Then we'll put a comment in here. We're checking the BPF field final decision date for value, right? So if final decision date is not equal to null and final decision date is not equal to undefined, well then, great. We want it to go into line 11 and we want it to go and parse through and do something. What would we do though? Well, probably what we'd want to do is set is show closes 1 to true. And that's what we're going to do. And then inside our try block, we would want to return that value back to the function. So let's return is show closes 1. And then last thing we'll do is we'll clean this up. We'll make this a catch E and we'll say alert, an error has occurred. And then we'll pop in our message, e.message. Done. All right, looks like our code looks good. So what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and create a web resource in our solution. So let's go ahead and create a new web resource. Close as 1. Logic 2. And then we're going to drop our code in here. So we have our JavaScript web resource, which is essentially just a library. We'll publish this. And so now we have our library. All right, I'm happy with that. I'm going to delete this old one. This was one that I was playing around with. All right, cool. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to work with the ribbon. So let's go ahead and open up the ribbon workbench. And it's going to ask us, which solution do you want to open? Well, I'm going to open up the opportunity ribbon because I can't open any of these other solutions because they have like actual components inside of them. This one just has metadata for the opportunity. So that's what I want. I'm going to hit OK. And it's going to start opening that up. All right. So then what I want to do here is I want to go to my closes 1 and I want to customize this command. So you can see I have, this is the button, this is the command, this is the display rules, and here are the enable rules that are available to it, okay? What we're going to do is we're just going to create a brand new enable rule. So let's add a new enable rule. Let's add a step. It's a custom rule. The default value we're going to set to true. We're not going to set an invert result here at all. We're going to give it a function name. We'll copy that function name here from our code. So it's called closes 1 hide for now. Call it whatever you want, but that's our function name. And then in our library search, we want to find the one that's for us. And my prefix as a publisher is AYO, my initials. And then there's my custom rule. I still have to do one more thing, which is add a parameter. And I'm going to use a CRM parameter called, you named it, primaryControl. I'm very interested in this because I want the execution context. I want it so bad. I'm kidding. But you get the point. So I have that enable rule here. Okay, good stuff. And then what I'm going to do here is look at the commands, and then I'm going to add the new enable rule here to the actual command for mark as 1. So now that enable rule is bound. It's bound to this mark as 1 logic. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and publish this. And it'll take a little while. I want to show you in the meantime, there's no functionality right now that hides this button. So closes 1 is, just like closes loss is sitting here, just hanging out. I could populate this date value and it's still here. Save. Now I'll just remove the value. and I'll save. But then it's going to get really interesting once this finishes publishing. So it's publishing. It takes a little bit of time. Bear with the ribbon workbench. It is a phenomenal tool. Use it wisely and carefully, because you can break an entire system if you don't. And I say that because in my rookie years, I've done it and I've had to fix it. And thank God I was able to fix it. But just make sure you have an understanding of XML and how that can have implications on other relationships on the ribbon. So it's publishing the solution. Once it's done publishing the solution, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and clear our cache, and then we're going to take this for a test drive and see if this actually works, right? So let's go ahead and try this out here in just a moment. Usually publishing solution is like the thing that takes the longest time, I feel like, in Ribbon Workbench. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So you you guys know that I love F12, and you guys know that I love Chrome. So I'm going to clear the cache. I'm going to clear the cache twice. Actually, I'm going to clear the cache, check this out, thrice. Because that's just how client-side scripting works. So now I feel like I should probably have the functionality that I'm looking for if I didn't screw anything up. And it's very possible I did screw something up. So let's take a look. Okay, interesting. So here you have it. Close as one is not available as a button. It's gone. It's absolutely gone from this opportunity. So the question then becomes, what happens if I go ahead and set this to a value? Let's just say November 30th, and then I save. Does that change? It certainly does. Now, is it scalable? Can I go back? Can I nullify this value and my function actually return back um, you know, hide the button? And it certainly does. So there you go. There you have some pretty cool functionality. I mean, the sky's the limit. You could do so many things here with the ribbon. You could hide any of these buttons based on whatever's inside your unique business process flow. But here you have it. So when I decide that I want to finally close this opportunity and I have a decision date or whatever, all right, great. Now I have the ability to close this one. I've blocked the user from being able to close this one based on business process flow logic. So now I can say close this one, okay, put in my revenue, put in my description, whatever, and hit okay, right? Great. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.